2.5 means first 2 units we finished. After that, from unit 3, we finished grammar part and vocabulary part. In unit 3, we are left with reading and writing. In writing, we have letter writing. Okay. Now, let me just tell you, for your course, we have only formal letter writing. Okay. Formal letter writing, not informal. So, whatever letter you will go back to Jol Khavata. Whatever letter you will get, okay, any type of formal letter you can expect for your exam. No informal letter writing for your course. Now, when I say formal letter writing, it itself means a lot of things. Whenever we say formal writing, it's different from, definitely from, it's different from informal letter writing, right? So there are few things which are exclusively meant for formal letter writing, that or any, see, not only letter writing, any type of formal things, there you have to keep certain things in mind. So formal writing is that form of writing which is used for the business, legal, academic or professional purposes. On the other hand, informal writing is used when we use it for personal or casual purpose. Right? I'm just giving you a general overview. Okay, I'm going to share a PPT with you soon, but just before we start formal letter writing, I'm just giving you a brief introduction to formal writing. Then formal writing must use a professional tone. Whenever you are writing anything, it should use a professional tone. Whereas personal writing, there you can use an emotional tone. But emotions and all those things should not be used in a formal writing. In formal writing, use of unwanted words and all slangs and all other things, definitely you can't use. When it comes to the language, we use formulaic language in formal writing. Means formulaic language means there are some rules and regulations for formal writing. You need to follow that. We use passive voice in formal piece of writing. Okay, and in formal writing, linking words are used, right? Like therefore, henceforth, so, all those linking words, we have already studied about it. Then when we say formal writing, we make use of, suppose I am writing in as I am representing my company, then I will use we, right? Not I. So all those things you need to be taking care of. And also most of the times when we refer to the audience, first person plural or third person singular is used. Whereas in informal piece of writing, we use always the first person singular form. And apart from this, you have to be extra careful with regard to your spelling, punctuations, and grammar, right? You cannot go wrong there. It is, suppose you are typing a letter and it is going to another company, the entire company's reputation as it is at stake. So what if they underline the letter and send it back to your boss? In private companies, they will not entertain such things. When they expect a good letter from you, you have to write a good letter, which means that you cannot do any grammatical errors and all. That's why, I told you how important language is and how important English language is, because most of you are going to work in companies where English is going to be your mode of communication, and you just cannot survive without communication. You are not going there to do your job and talking to yourself and come back. Lot of interpersonal skills, soft skills are required. And in soft skills, communication is the major thing, apart from many other things. If you have good command over English, you are a good English listener, you are a good English speaker, you are a good English writer, and you are a good English, what else we are left with? Yeah, reader. Okay, then only you can make it big, right? There won't be any struggle as far as this part is concerned, and many things will be easily accessible to you. That is the key. Okay, so you need to be careful of whenever you are in a formal setup, whenever you are writing anything formally, there are certain rules and regulations. Now here we are concerned with letter writing, right? Formal letter writing, as I already told you. Yeah, no, till now I didn't. Screen means I am not sharing anything. Okay. Till now I didn't share anything. Now I am sharing. Just let me know if it is visible or not. First I will share for Civil 3, then for ECB. One by one I will share. Because I have created 2 classrooms, thinking that many of you will be joining. Okay. Okay. Now let me share it with. Are you all able to see this one? Unit 3 letter writing? Yes, EC3. EC3, are you all able to see letter writing? Yes or no, EC3?
No, ma'am. ECB, ma'am.
Sorry. ECB, are you all able to see?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Before also you were not able to see?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
Okay, now are you able to see?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I have to share, wait. Okay. I think it can't be shown, showed like that. One second. Do one thing, Civil 3. Civil 3. I'm going to share a link with you since EC3 students are more in number. So ECB students are more in number. So I'm not asking them. Civil 3. I'm going to share a link with you right now. You join in that link. Okay. You will be in ECB's classroom. Just I'm going to share it in the group. You all log out from now and join ECB link, which I'm going to share with you. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, are you all able to see this? Letter writing? Yes, ECB? Yes, okay. Civil 3, have you joined in? Yes, Civil 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So let's continue. Now, a letter is a written message that can be handwritten or printed on paper, right? It is usually sent to the recipient via mail or post in an envelope. Although this is not a requirement as such, any such message that is transferred via post is a letter. right? A written conversation between two parties. And let me just tell you how important a letter is. Whether you are studying now, okay, or after that you will become professionals, letter is the in formal writing there are many things. We have formal report writing, manual writing, memo writing, proposal writing, many things. Letter writing is something where I think daily you might have to write a letter to somebody, okay, to somebody. If even if you are working in a government organization also, weekly 3 to 4 letters you write. Suppose being a teacher where we actually don't have to write such kind of things, right? But still I am telling you, like I have to write a letter to the principal if suppose I am conducting a webinar or something like that, then that letter has to be forwarded to the chairman. Then many things happen. So letter is a very basic thing which is required for a professional or a student or an academician. Okay, so and you should know how you should write the letter. Now, there are basically two types of letter. We already discussed formal letter and informal letter. Now we are concerned here about the parts of letter. See here, it is mentioned as parts of a business letter. Business letter means it is a type of formal letter. Okay, so these notes are for actually for your second year when you will be doing ETC, effective technical communication. But any letter you are writing, you can just simply follow these rules or the formats or layouts. It is same for all. Any type of formal letter, whatever type you are writing, you just follow these rules, because rules, formats are very crucial in technical or formal writing. Now, when I say formal letter, okay, that time 12 parts are there in a formal letter. You should have a heading, right? A heading, or we call it a letterhead. Then which will contain the address of the sender, fax number, company's number, email address, logo, anything you can attach, and it usually comes at the center. Then date, then reference, okay, it shows the department of the organization sending. You can take out this part and include in letterhead itself. Then the inside address means the receiver's address, his name, location, everything. Then you have a subject. Then you have a greeting. Sometimes we greet first and then we write the subject, right? Then we have the body paragraphs, the problem, the statement of the problem, you can call it. So the body paragraph the body paragraphs will have opening part, main part, and concluding part. Opening part will contain or discuss about the problem, right? Or anything, the introductory part. In the main part, you will include the details about that particular thing. Then the concluding part, you will ask some or anything like how you will conclude. So these things will form the body paragraphs. After that comes the complimentary close. Okay, it is a humble way to end a letter, and it is like how we say yours faithfully, yours sincerely, or thanking you with regards, all complimentary close. Then you have signature and writer's identification, where you will be signing and you will be writing your name, designation, all of that. Then if you are attaching few documents or any that sort of thing, that you have to mention in an enclosure section. You will mention 1, 2 like that. Then you have copy circulation, CC. In emails, you must have seen that. CC means, suppose I am writing a letter to the principal, but I want the HOD to have a look at it. So I will say, write that CC HOD Humanities, but I am writing the letter to the principal, right? So that is called as copy circulation, who all can have an access to the letter. Then you have postscript, which is called as PS. If you want to add something extra, which is not necessarily You know, something extra means which is which doesn't have directly something to do with the problem which you are writing in the letter, but still you want to have a mention of it, but it is not of that importance, right? So all the things which I discussed over here, you will find it here. It's a beautiful structure given to you. So basically your letter should look like this. Like your formal letter should look like this. Here is the letterhead, then you have the dates, then inside address, then subject, then dear sir, then the body paragraph 1, 2, 3, then closing, signatures, signatories, you know, all those things, complimentary close and signature design. Now you can see here that except for this, everything is aligned on the left hand side. That is the standard form of formal letter writing. Many students come to me like, you know, like that how to, ma'am, can you just, you know, senior ones, those who are know us, okay, since first year, they will be knowing us because every semester we offer a course from English, right? So suppose they are in third sem or other, they are writing a letter and they will be like, ma'am, which format we should follow this step? Already we have taught them, but still they will come. So always there is a confusion over there. So the simplest standard way of writing any type of formal letter, whether you are writing a letter to the principal or to the chairman, whether it is a letter to the HOD, to another company head, to your boss, you follow this pattern. Nobody will ask or nobody will put a question on your format. And format is very, very important in any type of formal writing. Get that thing very, very clear. You should know the format. Okay. So like this, you will be writing. This is called full block form. Full block form. You can see it is looking like a block. So this is called as full block form. Now, when you are writing, see again, business, just ignore this part, business letter. This is formal letter only, okay? Know the format, it is crucial. What are the things you should be keeping in mind while you are writing a business letter? Know the format, choose the right kind of paper. Most of the times we type letter nowadays, so that's why it is mentioned that choose the right kind of paper. Include information about the company, include the date, add the recipient's information, choose a salutation. Then when you are composing the body paragraphs, that time strike the right tone, use personal pronouns, write precisely and clearly, use the active voice. I think previously I told you passive voice. No, it's not. Actually, in letter writing, it should be active voice. But depending on the situation, you can make use of passives also. Be courteous. Use additional pages whenever required. Okay, all of that. When you are closing the letter, you are towards the end of the letter writing. Choose a closing. Sign the letter. Make note of the enclosures. Use CC. When you are finalizing the letter, edit and review. Okay, many times you read it and then you edit it and you review it and edit it. Do not staple the letter. If you have some documents, you make use of paper clips and like how you attach. Then you post it properly. Now there are basically there are 4 formats of letter writing, but you are going to follow full block format. I see in the form of notes, I'm going to send you everything. Okay, every format you can have a look at it. But because we need to tell you, right, what are the different types available in the market. But we are nowadays, this is the most standard form, which is called full block form. Inside the letter itself, what is a full block form that has been discussed? You see the letterhead, the date, then receiver's address, then dear sir. Subject is missing there, you need to add that. It is called full block form because the inside address, the salutations and the paragraphs of the letters are arranged in block without any indentation. You can see no space here, right? Everything, even when I am changing the paragraph also, I'm not starting from here, from left hand side corner. Okay, but definitely there will be double space between 2 paragraphs. They are separated from each other by double spacing. Okay, so there are some features of block form which are given. Then you have semi-block form, because you can see it's semi means date is this side and the complementary clause is this side, other things are that side, and little bit of spacing and all those things are there. Not everything is starting from the left hand side. But for your course, don't bother about the different types of formats. Just you need to follow this format, okay? Just you can have a look at the different forms over there. But always follow the full block form. Again and again, I'm telling you, follow the full block form for formal letter writing. Now, these are the formatting rules when you are basically typing. For your exams, definitely you are not going to type, you are going to write, right? But still, you can follow these formatting rules. Like Times Roman, size 12, you need to follow. Single spaced is preferred. They should be all left aligned. Then 1 to 1.5 inches margin should be there, okay? So all of these you are going to follow when you will be writing your letters. So we discussed till now about what is letter writing, what is the difference between informal and formal letter writing, and the parts of a letter, the layout of the letter we saw, then different formats of letter writing, in which I told you that you are going to follow the full block form. Now, there are different types of formal letters, right? Types. It can be a letter of inquiry when you are inquiring about a product, or it can be anything, you want an information about some services, okay? So basically you are inquiring. So there you will be giving a brief introduction about yourself, include the name of the organization, provide clear details about the area of inquiry, present your queries and doubt in a clear and understandable form, and mention the deadlines. So these are the features of an inquiry letter, and which with each of the type we have a sample for you. So that makes your job very, very easy, right? You see. This is the sample. Inquiry about CAT coaching classes. You see the format over there, right? See, in the samples, maybe you can see some formatting changes, but you keep in mind that you have to write it in full block form. You see, in the first paragraph, it is written, this is with reference to your advertisement. How did you get to know about the service or something like that? So you will be mentioning that. Then you will be coming to the middle of the paragraph, the second paragraph. Kindly let me know about the procedure of applying for the qualifying test and its date. Everything you want to know, you'll write there. Then a concluding paragraph usually contains 1 or 2 lines where you will be asking the receiver to do the needful, right? Another type of letter is your order letter. When a buyer needs to order some goods, he writes an order letter usually. So basically in those types of letters, details of the items or the goods you are ordering, you have to mention it clearly. And with complete information, the quantity of goods, the company name, the model number, etc., etc. Now, shipping, information related to shipping must be also clearly given. When do you want it? That also should be clearly given, right? The mode of payment, the date of payment, all of that. So here is a sample for that also. You will be reading up by your own, okay? This is the sample. Then you have a letter of complaint. When you are not satisfied with something, then you usually you write a letter of complaint. Especially suppose you get when you purchase something and you are not satisfied with the quality of the items or some or the other thing, then you write this kind of letters. So one must clearly provide the details of the problem faced. You have to also tell them what type of action you want to be taken. Also, you have to provide all the details, the date of arrival, when did you receive the order number, details of previous complaint, etc., etc. Also, you can give them a deadline, okay, to give you a new product instead of that or something like that, you have to mention that also. Invoice number and receipt you have to add, add. And remember one thing, that since it is a it doesn't mean that if it is a complaint letter you have to be harsh. You have to be polite, at the same time assertive. Okay, now you can see a sample over there. See, order number, other things you have to mention clearly. Those are important for order letters. Now you have the response letters. Now you put yourself on the other side. Suppose you are receiving a complaint, you are receiving an order, or you are receiving an inquiry letter. Then you need to respond, right? So based on each types, you have to respond. It can be respond to a complaint letter. It can be respond to an inquiry letter. It can be a positive response. It can be a negative response. Okay, it can be anything. So these types of response letters must be written in a formal tone. It should explain the cause of the issue. Okay. And don't try to be sugarcoat, means you don't have to butter the other person that much. Be very straightforward about the issue, and the explanation of the solutions needs to mention in detail. You see here. Dear Vijay, thank you for notifying us of your problem. We understand your concern. See the language. These types of words you will be using. Because when I remember during the beginning of today's class, when I was discussing letter writing, I was telling you about formal writing. So these are the formal things which makes a letter formal, right? These things you have to include. You are not writing an essay, you are writing a formal stuff. So you have to be careful there. So make use of such kind of words. Now, we believe in a 24-hour problem-solving agenda. We have probed the issue you have raised regarding the defective Skullcandy earphone set you have received. The issue has occurred due to the negligence of one of our staff. Okay, if you admit your problem, you can write like that. If not, then there is some other way you have to write. In the second paragraph, you will be describing about the details, and you have to seek an apology. And thank you for cooperating with us. We will ensure that the issue is solved on priority as soon as possible. All of this you will inquire. It's the same way you have a letter to respond to an inquiry letter. Also, a letter also responds to an order letter also. The good thing is that everything is in your notes. Okay, we have prepared the notes keeping OU exams, final exams in mind. Okay, so that our students won't have to wander here and there, especially during the pandemic. You are not coming to the college regularly, you don't have access to books, right? So we have all the teachers have made these notes, the English faculty, and these are uniform notes. You ask ECC, you ask ECA or CSCA, all of them will be having the same notes. Okay, same notes for all, because all the teachers have contributed towards it. And these notes have been used by Osmania University people also. Okay, so be very be assured that these things are enough for you to get good marks in the exam. Okay, but again, as I always tell you, that nothing is limited, right? Nothing is, I cannot give you 10 letter writing subjects and tell you out of this only it will come. I will give you the basic notes. What questions you might get, that depends. But if you're reading these, then definitely you will be able to manage and write. Okay, so you don't have to wander here and there. I'm not prescribing any books to you. I'm not giving you small notes here and there. Everything is organized and it's being sent to you, right? Unit wise, we have prepared notes. Unit wise, module wise, we are sending it so that our students won't face any difficulty. When they have to just open their Google Classroom, Unit 1 notes, everything is there. Unit 2 notes, everything is there. Well organized. Okay, so that is all about letter writing. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now, or I will move on to next topic, which is a vocabulary topic from Unit 4. Any doubts you have, please ask me. I'm giving you 2 to 3 minutes time. because I got a decent amount of students today joining, so who have joined. So I will start another topic, and we have enough time also. No doubts? Now, ECB and Civil C for both of you. Today, I am going to share, not I'm going to share, basically it is there itself. You click on Unit 3 notes, okay, Unit 3 notes, which is already given in your Google Classroom. I'll tell you, just let me show you rather. See. So this is Civil 3 classroom, Unit 3 notes, you can see. Voice, we have completed. Synonyms, antonyms, we have completed. Letter writing, today I finished. 2 notes are there, you will read. With these, I am going to share another PDF file on letter writing. Okay, formatting and other things, layouts. For that, I will be sending you one extra note. And then you have I Have a Dream. I Have a Dream is from literature. It's a beautiful lecture by Martin Luther King on racism, and it's a very popular lecture delivered by them. What you have to do is you need to read the text, not the summary and all. Read the text. It is already there with you. Read this text, because in my next class I will be discussing this. Okay, apart from another topic. Okay, just I wanted to tell for both for ECB. See, for ECB, I think sir will take this class, but I am going to, anyways, that text is there, you will be reading it. For Civil C, I will take your class, so I will be discussing that. Okay, and let me just check whether with ECB it is there or not. Okay. ECB, you don't have these notes. Today I'll share all the notes. Just I have it. It's named as I Have a Dream. We'll be reading it. Even sir might ask you if you have read the text or not. You can tell him that time. ECB. Okay. And Civil C, of course, I will take your class. So I want all of you to read it beforehand so that we'll have a general discussion about the issues which he talks about. I'll summarize the entire text, and we'll discuss the important questions and answers. Okay. So you please keep be logged in. I'll take 2 minutes, okay? And I'll have some water and come, and then I'll start. Homonyms, homophones, and homographs. Very interesting topic. Okay, 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, you also have some water and come back. Okay, fine. Okay, I hope you all are there. Now, Unit 4, okay, Unit 4, if you look into your syllabus, uh, okay. In your syllabus, you can see that in Unit 4, we have what all we have. Okay, so Unit 1 is over, Unit 2 is over, Unit 3, we finished synonyms, antonyms, one word substitutes, voice we finished already, letter writing today I finished. We are left with I have a dream, okay, which will be completed, right? So before that, I'm doing Unit 4 vocabulary, homonyms, phones, homographs. Okay, I wanted to show you so that you won't be confused. So this part we are doing now. Okay, now you see this. One second, it's not coming. I wanted to show you a chart actually. Okay, it's not. One second. So this is a very simple chart to remember homonyms, homophones, and homographs. Now, homo means same, okay? Homo means same, right? When we discuss about homonyms, please ignore these things, okay? Because I'm just straight away, I wanted to show you a chart. So I'm using, making use of the internet directly. I'm not jumping over to the notes because this is more easy to remember. I hope it's fine, right? Can you just see this picture, this box? Yeah. So whenever we are discussing about homophones, homographs, and homonyms, we mean pairs, okay? Two words. Homophones are words which have same sound, different spelling, different meaning, okay? I'll be coming back to the examples soon. Homophones are the words which have same sound, different spelling, different meaning. Homographs are the words which have different sound, same spelling, different meaning. Whereas homonym are the words which have same sound, same spelling, different meaning. You have to remember this in order to get rid of any kind of confusion. Okay? Now, let me show you the examples. See. So, homophones, homophones, words that sound alike but they differ in meaning and pronunciation. Right? Meaning and spelling. Right? So, here also we say addition and here also we say addition. But both of them differ in meaning and in spelling. Right? So these are called homophones. You see these three, two, two, and two. They sound similar, right? But their spelling and meaning is different. Capital and capital. Their spelling is different. Capital building, we call it. But the sound is same. The meaning is different. Okay? Those are called homophones. Now, homographs. Homographs have same spelling, but their pronunciation is different. And of course, meaning is also different. Meaning is obviously different for all of them, right? So dessert, one is called dessert, one is called dessert. So difference is there in terms of sound. The meaning is different, of course, but the spelling is same. You see, slight difference in close and close. Okay, close your eyes, we say. And here close. Little bit of difference in sound, but the spelling is same. Bow and bow. Bow and bow. So pronunciation is different, spelling is same, meaning is different for homographs. Okay, homographs. Graph means spelling, same, which means same spelling. Homophones, homo means same, phones means pronunciation, same pronunciation, but spelling is different. Now we are left with homonyms. Homonyms are words which have the same spelling, but different meanings. Okay, same spelling but different meaning, and also same pronunciation also. Here at least how it differs from homographs, that here the pronunciation is different, but here the pronunciation is also same. So for homonyms you have to be extra careful because pronunciation is same, spelling is same, only difference is meaning. The spruce tree, we call it, it's a type of tree, or to spruce up, just to get some energy and spruce up. Then you have suit, that t-shirt suits you, we call it. Okay, suits you. He wore a suit. Both are different, but their pronunciation is same. Spelling is same, but they have different meanings. So that is the difference between each of them. You have to remember them properly. So I'm going to send you notes anyways, but on the net, in order to remember it easily, what you can do is just remember, make a chart, or this chart you can download, or you can make a small box for yourself and tick mark. Okay, see, homonym, meaning different, spelling, pronunciation same, just now we saw. Homograph, meaning different, spelling same, pronunciation different. Homophone, meaning different, spelling different, but the pronunciation is same. Remember this chart. With that, many examples you have to remember, right? Those you will get in your notes. And obviously, as I always tell you, for vocabulary and grammar, it is up to you how much you are exploring. We never know what you will get for the exam. There are millions of words, right? So prepare like that. There's nothing much to teach you as such. It's quite fun also when you will be reading it. Just have a look at it, how it is being done. Keep in your head forever. See, each one of us have different ways to remember certain things. I'm sure you also have. So in whichever way you want to remember, you remember this, because this is crucial. Always you get a question from homonyms, homographs, and homophones. Okay, so most of the students, what happen, they confuse with these names and they commit mistake. So be careful of that part. So we are done with vocabulary of Unit 4 also. Now, if you have any doubts, please ask me. What I will do, since all the students have queued up here, I'm going to simply save today's attendance and see the register, and then I will be marking your attendance. Okay. But I think from here also I can see. Okay, anyways, I will take a screenshot and I'll refer to your registers, and then for ECC and Civil C, ECB and Civil C, for both I will give you attendance. Now, meanwhile, if you have any doubt, please, you can ask me. No doubts? I'm happy that most of it's like a regular class it happened, because Civil 3 anyways, I think the total number is 30 change, and Civil ECB, it's 60. So not a bad number. But tell your friends to join these extra classes, because I'm going to finish the course because these are not revision classes. These are normal classes. If you are not attending, then it will be your loss. Okay. And so it's not quite often I'll be doing this, but whenever I'll be feeling that I need a class, that time I will be taking. Okay. If at all we have felt that we need many extra classes, then it would have been included in your timetable. But we don't want so many classes. We need few classes whenever we feel like we will take. And of course, it will be convenient to you also. That also we will see. Fine then. See you in the next classes. Okay, because two classes joined together for today's class. And please do read up the text. Okay, ECB, I am going to send you the text now. Okay, total unit 3 notes I will be sending you today. And Civil 3, already you have unit 3 notes with you. Okay, and unit 4 topic which I finished today, that is homonyms and all. For that, at the end of the unit, I will be sending you all notes together. Fine. Okay then, bye. You can post your attendance and leave the meeting.